Well, good day to you. This is Scott Picken. I'm the founder and CEO of Wealth Migrate. And this wealth insight is coming from Stanford University, right in the heart of Silicon Valley here in San Francisco, America. Now, I wanted to share with you just quickly our wealth insight. And really, it's about failing. It's about embracing failure. And it's about being excited by failure, iterating, and going out there and testing things. And I thought what would be fantastic is if I just take behind here, you can actually see this building here is actually sponsored by David Packard, which is the electrical engineering building. And then actually behind here, you can see is William Hewlett. So basically they're the guys that started Hewlett Packard. And I'm just walking around. We're literally right here in the center of the science and engineering here at Stanford University. Now, most people around the world will know that Stanford is probably the heart of technology around the world, and well, certainly has been for the last 30 odd years. And it was a very, very fascinating story of, someone that I want to now show you, this beautiful building here to my right here. And ultimately this gentleman is probably one of the most famous in the world, which is Bill Gates. You can see he's actually sponsored this building, which is the Computer Science Center. And I think really for me, in terms of this wealth insight of failing, is that mostly around the world, people are really, really scared of failure. They think that they've got to go out there, they've got to get it all perfect before they actually launch something. They're really, really nervous about failure. They're worried about starting a business. What happens if I fail? What will my family think? What will my friends think? How am I going to survive? How am I going to pay the bills? And I think really, Bill Gates epitomizes this wealth insight. Do you know when he actually sold his operating system, DOS, to IBM, what most people don't know is they hadn't even created DOS. The code hadn't even been written yet. And they said, well, can you do it? And he said, yes, no, certainly I can. And they actually went and bought it from someone else, and they configured it a little bit, and they launched it and effectively sold it to IBM. And today, Bill Gates is arguably still the wealthiest man in the world. And I mean, you can see this magnificent building here that he's donated here at Stanford University behind me. And so my wealth insight is that if you're starting something, if you're doing anything, remember that it's good to fail. There's an adage here in Silicon Valley: fail fast, fail forward, fail often, learn, iterate. And I think the founder, and I can't remember his name now, of LinkedIn summed it up absolutely beautifully when he said, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, then you've launched too late. And so for everyone all over the world, my wealth insight is embrace failure. For centuries, for decades, we've been taught that failure is not a good thing. We're taught in the schooling system that failure is not a good thing. And yet in the business environment, the quicker you can fail, the better. The more iterations you can do to test the market, the better. And so fail forward. And I really think that Bill Gates is the bastion for that. Everyone continually rips off Microsoft. They continually rip off Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Outlook. And they laugh about the fact that, all the bugs that were in it. But he still created one of the biggest companies, Microsoft, in the entire world. And so whenever you think, is it all perfect? Have I got it all right? Do I know enough before I can get started? Think of the metaphor of Bill Gates. Think of the metaphor of Microsoft. If you enjoy this wealth insight, please go out there to your family and friends. Please share it. My mission is to help empower 1 billion people. And with our Global Wealth Group, we're certainly going down that. My statement for life is to create a world of wealth, health, and happiness through having lots of fun, inspiring growth and change. And hopefully coming here live from Stanford University, you too can really be inspired, and you can learn a lot, and it can hopefully inspire growth within you. And lastly, if you enjoyed the video, go along and subscribe to the channel, because every single week we're going to be bringing you fantastic wealth insights from all over the world with some of the best entrepreneurs and business people, and a couple of things that I get to learn along the way. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Coming live, Stanford University, Silicon Valley. Scott Picken.